Today we're going to talk about Yang Cheng Fu's Tai Chi rules, and it's about continuity without interruption. So basically they compare it with silk reeling. If you watch someone taking silk from a cocoon, they pull it very lightly. So they wet the cocoon, put in a nail, find an open end, and they just pull it very slowly, but without jerking it. So the whole Tai Chi form must also be done as if you're unraveling silk from a cocoon. So there must be no jerky movements.
So does this mean that when you're doing the form, there must be no stop, there must be no rigid movements? Does it just mean that on a physical level, just continuously going from start to finish?
Yes.
Or is there more to it?
Well, there is more to it. What we want to do is gradually accumulate all these principles. The principles will provide the correct conditions for advancement in Tai Chi. But we need to try and utilize those principles without letting one slip, which means if you drop one or two, the way you're doing the form is going to change.
And is that in effect breaking the...
That will break the continuity. Okay. Well, there's more. So when we do Tai Chi according to the principles, once we can accumulate all the principles and we can do the Tai Chi with all the principles without having to think about it, then you will start to suspend. Then the suspending will take over the function of doing the form. But we still have to be careful, because what happens is you get this very... The ancients talked about the silver cord, which is basically like your dew pulse. In Chinese medicine you have meridians and pulses. So there's this pulse from the top of the head to the groin, runs in front of the spine, but it's very fine. Like my master says, like the hair of a cow. So when you do everything in unison and pay attention and relax and don't try to do extra stuff, then that line will function. But if you do sudden movements, then you're going to break the continuity.
When you say that line will function, what is it that you mean?
Well, it gives all your body functions come off that.
Okay, so any jagged, sudden movements in your form
Will break the line.
It interrupts.
To begin with, when you first start, it's very delicate. Then after time, it gets stronger and stronger.
Okay, but only if you gather all the principles together and you practice your entire form with the principles without interruption.
So we suspend, we connect it from Ba Hoi to Hui Yin, through the center of the body. So you must just maintain that suspension, but you mustn't try and do more. You must just allow that to do its job.
Without interfering with your...
Yes, so there must be no interruption. You mustn't interfere with it.
Your thinking brain needs to take a step back.
Ego.
And just the concentration.
Yeah. So you have to give up your ego, and sort of, like I said before, people want to do things well, but when you try to do it, you're probably going to do the wrong thing. You have to let go of that. So you have to give up your ego, which means ego and emotion and intention, and let the mind take over, basically. Well, I say mind. What we're looking at is trying to move back to our self-nature and consciousness. And of course mind is behind that, but that's a whole different story.
But it's not...
Well, it's not a different story, it's a whole...
But it's not doing the form in a physical way, not with the thinking brain to do it.
Yes.
You bring the principles, which are an energetic collection of conditions. You do your form according to these energetic conditions, and then you will have...
Well, it's meditation.
Yeah.
You don't want to think. You must give up thinking.
Yeah.
So When they talk about Tai Chi being moving meditation, it is meditation. As if you were sitting in the lotus position, for instance. It's the same thing. So we don't want to think. We want to give up all thinking. And give up yourself. Otherwise you tend to think maybe it's like this or maybe it's like that, or use your imagination, oh, I can feel this or that. You know, there must be none of that.
No sensation.
Exactly, no sensation.